Hi friends, today is another hodgepodge type of video. I enjoy filming these as I accumulate some items, and I wanted to share what I bought because although I did not participate in the most recent Sephora sales event back in, late October, it's because I bought other things that were not available at Sephora. And I wanted to still show what these items are because by no means am I absolved from shopping desires, tempted. I did, however, have a few things on my list. So although I did purchase a few items, one of those things where I did not impulsively buy them when they had released. I waited and said, listen, if you're still thinking about this and that, maybe just okay, when they become available, hopefully on sale, which is a more ideal situation, go ahead and shop away, which is what I did. So I bought a few items. And again, why I didn't get anything from Sephora, because at that point I had already acquired Xenon, Danessa's Lightwork 5, and Sonia's Fundamental Eye Set that was sent to me by Beautylish. Thank you. Suku's PR, BK Beauty, and the Nikki LaRose set that was also sent complimentary. So I was good to go in that department. But in terms of makeup, the makeup items that I did purchase during that time was from Phytosurgence. I had my eye on their Sunlight Spectral Cream Bronzer. Spectral Sunlight Cream Bronzer. It released a few months ago and I held back because at that time I was like, you got a lot of bronzer, girl. Like a lot of bronzer. And I said to myself, hey, if you want to buy this down the line, at least wait for a sale. And that's what I did. So not only did I purchase one of the shades, but I also, this was a little impulsive, 100%. When our friends at Phytosurgence teased the fact that they were experimenting with new blush shades, one of them being described as a cinnamon peach, I nearly lost it. I'm like, why are you doing this to me? You know that is a part of my wheelhouse color of life. So of course, that was on my radar. In addition to another shade that they also teased, one being described as a rose chai. Rose chai? Really? You don't think that makes my heart flutter? I nearly died again. So when they had announced that these two new shades would be available during the sale and they will be limited edition, even though, yes, if they sold out during this time, they'll be available again next year, I had to get them. Kindle and Ignite, the two limited edition blush shades, the Skin Spark Blush Bomb specifically from Phytosurgence. If you're not familiar with this product, I had covered them videos back. I'll make sure to include that link down below and up in a link card above. Let's start with the swatches first, okay? I know I started with the cream bronzer. We're gonna get there, but I just had to share this first. Okay, Kindle. Kindle is described a cinnamon peach inspired color, a spiced caramel tone that is a beautiful nude on deeper skin tones, or a warm pop of spice on lighter skin that lies in soft terracotta territory. You know, it had to be all about the terracotta. Okay. Oh my goodness. One of those shades which I suspected can double as bronzer and blush. You know what I mean? One of those shades that I think it effortless in just finding its way into your cheek routine, streamlining it. You don't got to do the bronzer and the blush separately when you have a color like Kindle. I'll quickly compare that to Inferno, my terracotta dream, and one shade that I hold in high regard in my blush collection. So you see that Inferno has a little more red. It's a little more toasty, which will deliver, I think, a more pronounced sunburnt effect that looks healthy, okay? I do have Jubilee on standby because, again, since we are in the terracotta realm of things, I thought it fitting to compare the shade. And look at that, a little more like tangerine coral leaning, much brighter than Inferno and much more coral than Kindle. The other shades I have, and forgive me, there were two shades that I was trying to look for and could not locate them. I don't know where they are in my collection. They're laughing at me right now because I could not find them. This is Smolder, also from Phytosurgence, a desaturated peach, one of my favorites. Definitely more subdued, but I just love the tone, and I think it pairs quite well with Kindle, this perhaps being a little more full-bodied in terms of color. And I wanted to quickly show Exothermic. Exothermic released with their Toasted Blush collection, and I thought I did 2 other shades, and again, I could not locate them. One of them being more wine-leaning in color. That's why I wanted to locate it, because I thought it might have been an interesting comparison to Ignite, the Rose Chai, but I'm sure Phytosurgence has plenty of comparison photos on their website. Again, this is Exothermic, more of like a mauve, right? So different from what we see in Kindle. This is a little more cooler tone, but I think it an interesting shade, which is why I purchased it. Now going into Ignite. It says here that Ignite is a rose chai inspired color, a full-bodied rosy tone with soft peppery spice. It reads as a gorgeous dusty rose on deeper skin tones, or a well-anchored royal flush on lighter skin that doesn't look pink or too pink or red. Ooh! All right, Ignite. What an interesting shade. Definitely rosy. Desaturated. I like that. I like just like that sophisticated tone of color that's not too vibrant, but it's still full-bodied in color. Does that make any sense? I could quickly show, let me see. I already showed Inferno. I'll show Singe just for fun. Singe is totally different from Ignite. We're going into more of like the coral pink realm of things. I would wear this more so spring, summer, but not excluding autumn, winter. But you see there how bright it appears in comparison to the other swatches. Again, we have Ignite and we have Kindle all the way at the top. So those are the 2 limited edition shades. We got the more, again, cinnamon peach, and we have the rosy chai. We're gonna put on both, all right? Let me quickly, however, go into the cream bronzer, and a huge thank you to the Phytosurgence team for generously throwing in number 7. I have purchased 6 and was going back and forth. Should I get number 6? Should I get number 7? And I mentioned to them in a DM to congratulate on their successful sale. My goodness, and the sellout for Kindle and Ignite. I had explained where I was going back and forth, and I thought Rosy Blaze was an appropriate choice because I was just intrigued by the title Rosy Blaze, okay? And I thought maybe Golden Heatwave would be cool too, but I didn't know if that would be too deep, and they threw in Golden Heatwave complimentary. So thank you, friends at Phytosurgence. And they explain on the Spectral Sunlight Cream Bronzer product page that they divided the tones into golden and rosy, right? And I forgot to mention, my apologies, the Skin Spark blush bombs are 21 Canadian and the cream bronzer is 34 Canadian. And you'll find the categorization of colors and skin tones on their website. But to quickly go over, they have the light medium, medium tan, and tan deep tan. So I was looking between medium tan and tan deep tan, and the reason I thought number 6 would be cool because again, that rosier tone or undertone in the bronzer I was enchanted. And number 7, I thought would be like a more traditional bronzer shade on me, but I'm happy that I got 6, but grateful to have received 7 complimentary. Thank you again. It says here golden shades are odd numbers, rosy shades are even numbers, so depending on your undertone will determine which one you gravitate towards, decide to purchase. The minute I swirled my finger in this texture, I was wowed. It's interesting. It says here that it is a powder cream hybrid, stiffer than our blushes and does not feel like a cream to the touch. It will melt to the touch with repeated pressure, swirling like a balm, but behaves more like a powder on the skin. Dries down to a natural satin finish with the slightest, very gently blurring quality. No wet oil slick vibes here. Same concept packaging as our Spectral Shine Radiance Balm, but completely different formula. Take note of that because the Spectral Shine is definitely drier touch. This, although cream to powder, has a lot more movement in the pan. And again, this is number 6 Rosy Blaze, and you detect the translucency. I think it fascinating, and what an opportunity now, because of the fluidity and just watercolor feel of this formula. I think you have room to build intensity where it does not appear muddy, because that's a challenge I feel I run into when dealing with cream bronzers that are super pigmented but not translucent. They don't have the space to build color. You have to be light-handed from the initial application. And now we have Golden Heatwave number 7. This is the more golden undertone, and you see how you gotta work the product, warm it up a little bit to pick up enough next to number 6, and you can definitely detect more of a golden undertone versus the more rosy. I think this is such a beautiful color, and if you were to pair it, let's say with Kindle or Ignite, this definitely I feel more suitable to pair with Singe or even Inferno or even Smolder. Happy to have 7, but happy that number 6 was my first choice, because I don't have a color like this in my collection. A lot of my bronzers run either golden, golden neutral, right? But to have this rosy undertone, I think it's so pretty. They also cover their brush type suggestions, which I think hugely helpful, because when you don't have the right tool with the product, you blame the product. And sometimes is, again, I've spoken about this in my other brush videos, sometimes is finding the appropriate tool, brush density, bristle length to pair with said product so you have the best outcome in terms of application and finish. And they have suggested something slightly stiffer, and I think you could detect that from the swirling, that you need something stiffer, denser on the spectrum to pick up this type of formula. And I think because now that we went over everything with the makeup, and I'll go over the other items that I purchased down the video, I had the timestamps. If you just want to skip this and see what else I got and come back, totally get it. With swatches and details out the way, I think it's time for you to come in a little closer. That's enough. On the face today, I applied the Hourglass Ambient Soft Glow in number 11, the Lancome Concealer 350 for under the eyes, a little bit of powdering from my Shiseido Synchro Skin Invisible Silk Powder to buff the brows a little drier for my Goof Proof Pencil 3.5. Let's get into the cream bronzer. I cannot wait. And I wanted to cover a few brushes that I recently presented in my Get Ready With Me, the Nikki LaRose, or rather BK Beauty and Nikki LaRose N15 brush. Could be, I think this is stiff enough to pick up. So let's see. Wait. Rosy Blaze. Rosy Blaze. Oh, I love that. It's subtle. And the color, you see that it's not so warm. It has the right amount of, yes, that rosy tone with that grounded, earthy feel. Oh, that's pretty. That's pretty. I love that. Oh, this is first impressions. Can you tell this is a first impressions? If I wanted a little more color, you know, listen, if we wanted to get crazy with the color, we get in with the Deca. However, I think the J series brush, you can consider this to be an option, because although pretty big, I think it picks up enough to maybe build the color a little more here into the hollows. But this is what I anticipated. The translucency allows for layering, for building up the color. You don't have to worry about it appearing muddy or heavy on the skin. And there's not a ton of coverage, but just enough. Ooh, this is a pretty color. I absolutely love it. Definitely easier to pick up than their Spectral Shine for sure. Even though the cream bronzer is in the same compact, it's not going to behave the same. It is a completely different formula. That is Rosy Blaze. What do we think? I absolutely adore this shade. My goodness. I picked up on the uniqueness right away when I saw this online. I got have some Lip Embrace. This is Sorcery, which fitting pair with Rosy Blaze, don't you think? Now going in with Golden Heatwave. Golden Heatwave number 7 from, I believe, let me scroll up here to confirm, from the tan Deep Tan. So the Deep Tan would have the more rosier undertone, where tan here is going to have the more golden. So let's go in with our N15 first, just to stay consistent with the application lineup. Same brush, in this whipped fashion, so we could pick up enough product, pounce it on. Oh yeah, we could, yeah, there's definitely more golden here. Not bad at all. I do enjoy the color. That's pretty. That's pretty. But the Rosy Blaze is pretty too. Following in with my J series Chikuhodo brush. It's a foundation brush, but I think it a fine size to apply this cream bronzer with. I definitely can detect the more rosy undertone from the more golden one found in 7. I do love Rosy Blaze. I think it's so appropriate for the season, where not that I can't be golden during autumn and winter. I think it warrants, in my eyes, more warm or warmer blush shades, where if I wanted to stick to more like with the cinnamon and the earthier tones here with number 6, I think an appropriate matchup. So I know you probably want to see the blushes solo, but I would apply both, right? So let's go in with Kindle again. We're looking at this cinnamon peach. I think, let's see, what brush should we use? I gotta go in with the J series, specifically the J-G3. I like to tap first because these are a little more moussey, all right? They're a little more moussey than the cream bronzer, so it's gonna pick up a lot more. And I like, again, to allow room to build. This is the best. This is the best color of life. I can't stand it. Cinnamon peach, me all the way to heaven. And it pairs beautifully, Rosy Blaze. I'm bringing it pretty close here, all right? I'm not afraid to wrap that color right in towards the nose. You could keep it higher for sure. I think this is a color appropriate for a more of a sculpting moment. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be so flushy, but it can be flushy. Oh, that's so... I love it. Effortless, easy. It doesn't warrant or call for additional makeup. I am completely comfortable throwing on the brow, throwing on a lip embrace. It could be the same glossy bounce. It could be something else, Pat McGrath's Bronze Venus, whatever. With this, and I'm no stranger to the Skin Spark Blush Balm formula from Phytosurgence. Exceptional. That was Kindle. Can you even stop it? Now with Ignite, that is our Rosy Chai, and let's see how it pairs with Kindle. Same application method. I'll make sure to not overlap the colors so we don't cross-contaminate colors, but you know, you can mix whatever you want. This is just for the sake of the demo. Let's pounce on that color in the same fashion. Ooh, that's pretty. It kind of reminds me of Inferno because I think you can detect a little more of that rosy hue, but it's more desaturated, right? It doesn't have that same toasty heat look to it, but I just love that rosier tone. Ooh, which is my favorite? I'm sure you all are just dying to know. Don't pay me no mind, as I was quite liberal with the application. Sometimes when that happens, I bring it up a little too high. It's like right up against my lash line, but I want it to fade the gradient a little bit more so it's not like sitting right under my eyes. That's pretty though. Ignite is beautiful. Which is my favorite? It's hard, fam. I love them both for different reasons. I would say, however, if I were to categorize them, okay, Kindle for me is that perfect throw on everyday shade. Don't worry about a thing. Just brows, gloss, and blush. Even without the cream bronzer, you can simply pounce this on the cheeks and can be liberal with it. You don't have to worry about holding back, and apply it as low towards the nose as you want or as high to the hollows as you like. Ignite, however, if you want it a little more flush, for sure. If you want it more of a rosier tone, you don't want something that looks desaturated like Kindle, although that's not a bad thing. I understand it could run into a different preference. But Ignite is going to give you more of that flush effect. But that rose tone that's not so vibrant, it just sits right there in that elegant type of category. This would be just stunning with Natasha Denona's retro palette, because those tones is just this rose chai. My gosh, thinking about it is too much. I think that monochromatic rose all over burgundy eye look paired with Ignite would just be out of this world. And I'm also thinking about Natasha Denona's bronze palette with Kindle. Stop it. I know it's too much. It's too much. Pleased with these purchases. Thank you so much again, Phytosurgence, for throwing in number 7 complimentary. I am thrilled to have these in my hands. Ignite and Kindle. I immediately when I saw these shades on IG, it was a wrap. Contract was signed, name was on the X. Please send them my way. Even if they did not send me 7, I am pleased with 6 Rosy Blaze. I think it is a unique shade, unlike anything I have in my bronzer collection. This tone, I don't own it. And if I do own it and you're calling me out down in the comments, let me know, because I can't recall having a bronze shade like this. Rosy undertone, but it don't look too muddy or bruised. That's the thing. And I think because of its more translucent nature, it avoids that. It avoids the muddiness, it avoids the bruising, because it's not so heavy in color and there's an opportunity to build or hold back. But that first initial application is just the right amount. It's not so heavy. You know what I'm saying? And you're like wondering, well, what else did you get, Alicia? Okay, we went into the Phytosurgence items. What else did you get? Well, you know, Mooncat was also having a sale. And recently, I guess not recently anymore, I did purchase their Midnight Cowboy collection, which was like 10 polishes. So I decided to hold back, and I actually was not going to participate in the Mooncat sale, but one of my clients, a fellow nail polish aficionado like myself, heavily recommended that I get this color. You cannot spell. Artemis Deathkiss. Artemis Deathkiss, a bestseller. We're looking at a dusky gray purple base, moonlit with an intense glow of purple shimmer and a dash of micro hollow glitter that twinkles like stars in the night sky. You are correct, friend. You are correct. I am happy to have grabbed Artemis's Deathkiss. And there was one other polish. I know, I just got 2. Look at me. Originally, I had thought I put this color in the basket from the spring sale. I forgot when the last sale that Mooncat held. I thought I had purchased this nail polish, but to my disappointment, I did not. It was Kafkaesque. How do you pronounce this word? Kafkaesque. I thought I had included Kafkaesque in my original Mooncat purchase with their other sale. This is the deep brown labyrinth shade. Look how beautiful it is. I can't stand it. Lovely. I love the Mooncat creams. Mooncat creams are delicious, and these are the 2 nail polishes I bought from their most recent Black Friday event. Thrilled to have these now in my collection, and the polishing was exceptional in terms of the quality, the ease of polish and application. This color right here, talk about sophisticated. Okay, I adore it, but this ain't bad either. This is just out of this world. I love the dusky gray lavender. Then the color intensity is great. This is from 2 Coats, by the way. 2 Coats. That's what I got for Mooncat. And you're like, what else did you get, friend? So I don't know if you know, but I love to lift, and I had my eyes on these shoes for quite some time. At the time, they were $200. And what types of shoes are these? Well, they're weightlifting shoes. They went down to, I believe, like $135, and I'm like, oh, okay, I could do the $135. I wanted something with the wedge, because I don't do weightlifting per se, the Olympic weightlifting, but I do work full range of motion in all of my squats, my back squat and my front squat. Even if I hop on a leg press, I don't have a great hack squat nearby, but it would be the leg press. Having the wedge under your heel just helps to promote the need to go more forward, which I know everyone's like, don't do that. Not everyone, that's absolute statement. Most people might feel that's dangerous, but actually if you introduce larger ranges of motion to your knee joint, your tendons and ligaments can acquire the appropriate strength when dosed correctly. And when you go lower, or you work to go lower, well, having the heel lift will help your ankle flexion, which can be limited on many people, and why they can go as low without their low back rounding, because they can't move their knee as forward. With the lift under the heel, however, you have the support and now more range of motion, more ankle flexion at your disposal to go lower and not round in the lower back, and still keep more of an upright posture when you're down. ATG. And look, they're neon. I love the neon color. I immediately had to have these because of this acid green, acid yellow, whatever you could detect online. And this is the brand TYR. There are a lot of other weightlifting brands, like Nike has their weightlifting shoes, which are quite popular, but those were not on sale. They were not on sale, so I did not get them. I did not try them yet. I just wore them around the house, just to kind of break them in. And weightlifting shoes typically have to be more snug, because you don't want to be sliding around, especially if you are doing Oli lifting and you gotta snatch and hop the feet open and whatever's required during those lifts. You want to make sure your foot's not sliding in and out. I'm just going up and down, right? It's not as dynamic as Oli lifting. But even as I descend, I would like my foot to stay put and not slide forward or have any gaping between my heel and the heel of the shoe. So it's a great fit. I'm a size 6. There's a wide toe box, right? It's not too narrow, and it is snug, but I think the snugness will eventually move into glove territory. I liken the fit to a ballet shoe or a point shoe, right? You don't want no space between you and the shoe. You want a snug fit. So that's why I held a parallel experience or comparison from ballet shoes to weightlifting shoes. Actually, I can't help it. The background is just, the bias is showing. Those are the makeup items. That was the nail polish. Those were the shoes. And I think I forgot where I mentioned this, maybe in a members live, but I made a huge purchase from Jynwaye.com. These are my Singe socks. Look, you got different Singe faces. So I typically wear these socks for lifting when I have my shorts on, or if I just wear more over leggings or whatnot. And I did buy another, oh yes, let me take these off. I did buy more Bombas Socks. Bombas Socks are the socks. Okay, they're all I wear. I tried to convince my boyfriend to buy a pair, but he refused because they were so expensive. I'm like, listen, it's fine if you don't want to dip your toes in, but once you do, you ain't going back. You are not going back. And recently I've gone through my sock drawer, and unfortunately some of my Bombas have reached their end. They got holes in them, and I have them packed in the bag. I would like to email them to find out if they still take back old socks. They used to, but I don't know if they do that anymore. So I bought a few pairs of those. Didn't go crazy. We stayed under $200. I just bought enough to hold me over until next year, which is this is around the time where I evaluate and see what I need for socks. And I didn't need a huge amount of pairs. Although when I started to fill the basket, it was getting a little crazy. But you know how that goes. You fill in the basket, intuitively, the first impressions take over. You walk away, you come back and say, okay, do you really need these? No, you don't. That's what happened. I edited it down and I arrived at what I have now, what has been sent. Now, there are a couple of other Black Friday sales that I do have my eye on. I would like to purchase a made-in saucepan that's 10.5 diameter. It was between this one and the All-Clad. The reason why I wanted the All-Clad one is because it's 12 inches in diameter, but people tend to gravitate towards made-in because the handle is bent, it's more flat, whereas the All-Clad comes out on that high angle. And I think it's because All-Clad is more appropriate for professional cooks, made-in more for home cooks. Now, it's not a big deal, you know, 1.5 inches more that I'm not getting. So I might grab that because they're now currently running their sale. And I was looking also at one of their Dutch ovens to keep at Bay's house, because we already have a Dutch oven here. But you know, if I want to get my braise on, I was thinking about getting in the Dutch oven. In addition to the Saute pan that I wanted to get stainless steel, I also wanted to grab one of their porcelain baking pans that if I wanted to bake chicken in or something else, that was also on sale. I have knives. I have the Mason knife, which is pretty cool. It's huge. It's the chef's knife, but it does the job. That's pretty much what I have my eye on in terms of cookware. And again, I'm teeter-tottering between the Maiden and the All-Clad. The All-Clad is also on sale at Bloomies, okay? So not getting that full price, but I think the Maiden will be much better. And I had mentioned that I had my eye on the Caraway Tupperware set. They don't call it Tupperware, but I do because I'm just old-fashioned like that. I'm back and forth. I don't know if I need the entire set. I might pick up the smaller containers from my homemade tzatziki when I bring it on the go, but then I feel like I will have to get like a lunch bag. And the lunch bag that I had my eye on was the Caraa lunch bag. And shame on me for even wanting this, because it is such a bougie type of a bag, but I think it a perfect size, and it keeps your food either hot or cold, which is what I would need if I were to purchase one of the Caraway to go whatever. Because although it's ceramic, it's not insulated, so I'll have to put that in an insulated bag to keep it cold, because I also have my Mir food canister that's meant to keep food either hot or cold. How does that work, family? Is it okay if I put one of the canisters in, let's say in a lunchbox? Is that gonna screw it up? You know what I mean? I don't know how that works. Back to the Caraway food storage collection. Again, might not get the whole thing. What's tempting is the fact that they are oven safe, but I haven't actually been using the oven a lot to reheat my leftovers. I usually like to put it in a pan. Thing is though, I could still put it in one of these to keep it hot and put it in the lunch bag, but then what's gonna happen to the tzatziki sauce? Which is why I have my food canister. So that's why I'm saying maybe I don't need it. Maybe I got all my bases covered, and I'll get the smaller food storage containers for like the sauces and maybe a mini side, and not necessarily grab the bigger food storage container. That's what I'm thinking. Joah Brown I have purchased from last year, made a hefty Black Friday purchase. And the thing with them, you gotta stay on top. Oh, they started the sale. Right after I film this video, I'm gonna start shopping because their stuff just goes so quickly, and it's annoying because what I usually want is usually what gets out of stock first. It's fine. So there you go. That is my priority right now, but happy that I came on here to show what I still purchase, because again, it's not like I'm not shopping at all. My priorities have shifted from mostly makeup to just other items in my life that I hold high priority for, and I rather get that I've had on my radar for a few months. So the lead up was, okay, if this goes on sale and you still want to go ahead and buy it, but just wanted to make the point that I didn't go crazy. I didn't go crazy buying all the Phytosurgence blushes and cream bronzers and all the nail polish, because again, I recently purchased so much nail polish. To buy more than 5 from the Mooncat sale would have been absurd. would have been absurd. And if you did that, that's fine. Not judging you at all, but just judging me just based on what I have bought from them so far. It's like, calm down, Alicia. And I know that Fude Beauty has a bunch of beautiful brushes, and my goodness, I'm grateful for the opportunity to have received Refer PR, Sonia G PR, BK Beauty PR, and Fude Beauty PR. I'm good on the brushes. Are there others that I want? Absolutely. But I said, calm down, Missy. You can't afford it. You can't afford it. So chillin', happy with what I recently purchased. And I will come back on here to show what I decided to buy from this new wave of Black Friday events. I feel like it happened in 2 to 3 weeks worth, where Black Friday started with a lot of brands already, and now other brands are starting this week because the official Black Friday is coming up soon, but many brands have started their sales prior to that. So let me know what you purchased down below, if you participated in the Phytosurgence sale, if you bought other things that were now makeup but also were on sale, and what is on your radar for the rest of the Black Friday season. I would love to know down below, and I will see you in those comments. Until then, family, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up or maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And until then, I will see you on here again with another review tutorial. Phytosurgence Skin Spark Blush Bomb Extravaganza. I'll be happy to come on here and just put them all on for you. What you would like to do? Would you like me to do that? Let me know down below. Take care, and I will see you again soon.